Assalamualaikum and good day. I am MUHAMAD bin FAIZUL. My MATRIC number is 206899, and I will make a presentation of past life reflection project that I have conducted at Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Kampar. The content to be covered in this presentation is school background, observation in classroom activities, reflection on school culture and work culture, as well as conclusion. Let's take a look first at the school background. On 1 January 1965, the establishment of two lower secondary schools known as Sekolah Menengah Rendah Lelaki and Sekolah Menengah Rendah Perempuan. 1 month later, on 1 February 1965, both schools are combined as Sekolah Menengah Rendah Kampar. The first school principal was Mr. Chai Tek-Hin. 5 months later, on 1 July 1965, the establishment of School Management Board consisting 10 members chaired by Mr. Chin Soon-Hoon. On 4 September 1969, the opening of the school was officiated by the Honorable Datuk Haji Abdul Rahman Yaakob, the Malaysian Minister of Education at the time. According to Abdul Razak Lunis, an independent scholar, author and publisher, Kampar's history begins with a Malay village from Kampar, Sumatra, known as Batu Tonggang, and its location is believed to be the site of SMK Kampar today. Therefore, this school was given the name SMK Kampar. This school area is located within the Battle of Kampar that took place during the Second World War. The school helps the late Mr. Chia Koi Long, a Battle of Kampar hero, to preserve the Battle of Kampar site at Greenwich. In 2022, SMK Kampar has 365 students, 39 teachers, 17 classes. The name of Form 1 to Form 3 classes based on gemstones, namely Jade, Topaz, and Ruby. Name of Form 4 and Form 5 classes based on their respective streams, which is pure science, business, vocational skills, and visual arts. This is the list of the past principals of SMK Kampar, and the current principal of SMK Kampar is Mr. Shoaib bin Muhammad. SMK Kampar is an urban school located in Kedah Selatan District, Perak. It is only 1 kilometer from Kampar town, and the surrounding of the school is surrounded by shops and residential areas. There are many public facilities nearby the school areas such as Lotus Hypermarket, cinema, banks, sports centers, restaurants, and more. This is the school vision and mission. The mission and vision were created with one goal, which is to raise a generation with morals and achievements. SMK Kampar is committed to developing a quality education system that produces excellent individuals to develop the country's potential and ensure the well-being of the nation. There are many infrastructure at SMK Kampar, as you can see in the pictures. The school is always committed to providing the best educational infrastructure from year to year to ensure that the quality of education in the school is always maintained and that a good environment for students and teachers can be empowered. From my observation, there are 4 English-related infrastructure in the school, which is idioms and proverbs link, heart of knowledge, learn towards a day board, and speaking corner that help to increase the student English language. I hope that the school will add more English-related structure in the future. For the school classroom, in each classroom, there is a bulletin board with information of class timetable, duty schedule, examination timetable, and subjects information, as well as reading corner to increase the students' reading interest. The school environment of SMK Kampar is very conducive and comfortable with study areas and gardens that brighten up every dull corner in the school. There are also many murals created by students and teachers add to the beauty of the school. Next, let's take a look at the observation in the classroom activities. For your information, I am unable to observe my guidance teacher, Mrs. Jasvin Kara Anakapamba, that was in class because she was very busy with the speaking and listening test for Form 4 and Form 5 students, as well as handball competition. Therefore, she suggested me to join these 2 English teachers' class, Mrs. Jora Binti Kamrudin and Mrs. Izan Binti Kadir. In in the both classes, the teachers teach reading comprehension. Both teachers use deductive approach, which they state the learning objectives and teaching general concepts such as definition and purpose before moving on to more specific content of the lesson. They also use teacher-centered approach, which they will comment and explain the topic first before opening a question and answer session with the students. In addition, they also use content-centered approach, in which they provide students with a short text or article on reading comprehension and ask the student to answer the comprehension exercises. Furthermore, the availability of teaching aids and teaching materials allows abstract knowledge to be concrete. For example, Mr. Jora uses 3D models, word globe, and Mrs. Isyan uses technology such as video presentation to assist students in visualizing. The didactic approach helps the student in learning more about the topic because the teacher progresses from the basic to more specific details of the lesson. In the teacher-centered approach, teachers have complete control of the lesson, reducing their concern that students will miss important information. For example, when students have trouble reading a paragraph, Mrs. Jora and Mrs. Izan help them by giving them the proper pronunciation of the words that they find difficult. Both teachers explain back the meaning of each sentence in the paragraph in the Malay language to help the lower proficiency students. They also both write important vocabulary from the text or article on the whiteboard along with its Malay meaning for the students to write in their notebooks too. Both of them also provide hard questions that encourage students to think actively, creatively, and critically in the classroom. I can conclude that the class benefits from the focused approach by both teachers. However, the weaknesses that I found in their lesson are they only use traditional approach that is not aligned with 21st century education. Student is teacher-centered education concentrate only on the teachers. The students just listen to the teachers, work alone during activities, which prevent them from develop their collaboration and communication skills. I also think that the teachers need to create more creative and diverse hot activities in the classroom too. The improvement that I would suggest to both teachers are they can apply student-centered approach in which students collaborate on their learning to make improvements. When student-centered approach is implemented in the classroom, students and teachers share the focus. The teachers are the facilitator in the classroom. Instead of just listen to the teachers, students and teachers interact equally. Students are encouraged to work in groups and learn to collaborate and communicate with one another. I also think that the teachers should incorporate gamification and drawing as improvement for host activities in the classroom. SME Kampa teachers use the collaborative instructional design system CIDS to prepare their lesson plans. Therefore, SME Kampa is very systematic in handling lesson plans. However, I found that the weakness in teachers' lesson plan is that the pedagogical practices that they use are unsuitable to the topics being taught. Therefore, the teacher must be more creative and more careful in developing lesson plans with suitable pedagogical practices so that the students are more engaged and interested in the teaching and learning session. As a future English teacher, the observation during these 10 days were very beneficial in understanding a teacher's working culture and the learning environment in the classroom. This observation and reflection facilitate me in thinking more deeply about the teacher's career in all aspects to make every teaching and learning session a success. As a result, I began searching and conducting research to learn more about pedagogical practices and other topics related to teachers and school that I was unfamiliar with. There are many pedagogical practices, host implementation, and effective teaching aids and materials that I can learn and explore. Therefore, I can conclude that everything that I explained before will be extremely beneficial to my preparation as a future English teacher. Next, let's take a look at the reflection on school and work culture. School and work culture in the teacher professionalism is very important to increase the productivity, efficiency, and job satisfaction of the teacher. The first work culture, the SMK Gampa, is official assembly. The official assembly is held every Monday morning from 7:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. to inform the students about the latest school information and also to launch any ceremony or program at the school. This culture helps in conveying current school information to the teachers and students. However, the assembly can sometimes last too long, which disrupting the teaching and learning session afterward. Therefore, however, this culture must be maintained for these disciplined students. Next is smiling and greeting culture. Teachers on duty and students entering the school will greet each other. Students will bow their heads slightly and place their hands on their chests like this to greet the teachers in the class or when they run into one another in the school. This culture promotes a positive school culture and a sense of mutual respect between the teachers and students. However, few students do not participate in this culture because they consider it unnecessary. This culture must be maintained because it nurtures a friendly environment in the school community. Next is the monthly class evaluation culture. Every month, some teachers are in charge of supervising the cleanliness and decoration of the classroom, and the most cheerful class will receive a hamper as a reward. This competition can boost the motivation and healthy competition among classes to see who can be the most cheerful and clean class. However, some teachers are unconcerned and neglect about this, and the cleanliness and cheerfulness of their classes that can occur health risks among the students. This culture must be maintained because a clean classroom will run smoothly than an untidy classroom. The last school culture is Yasin presentation activity. Every Friday morning from 7:30 a.m. to 8 a.m., Muslim students and teachers gather in the school canteen to recite Yasin together. This culture helps to develop individuals who excel both intellectually and spiritually. However, the Yasin recitation activity sometimes begin late due to the lateness of the teacher who leads the Yasin recitation. This will disrupt the teaching and learning session afterward. This culture must be maintained for the students and teachers' intellectual and spiritual to keep developed. Next is the work culture. The first is plan teaching time and schedule. Every teacher at SMK Kampang regularly plans their teaching time and schedule. This culture allows the teachers to be better organized while also creating an effective learning environment through more suitable and practical activities and tasks. However, a few teachers are still having difficulty in arranging their schedules due to having too many classes to look after and manage on their own. This culture must be maintained for the session teaching and learning to be more effective. The next work culture is proficient in the field taught. The teachers at SMK Kampang are skilled in the subjects they teach because they constantly improve and expand their knowledge by participating in related seminars and discussion. However, this culture helps in improving the quality of their knowledge. However, not all teachers have the opportunity to participate in external seminars because of their busy schedules. This culture must be maintained to improve teachers' teaching quality. The next work culture is spirit of teamwork. The spirit of teamwork could be seen at the school management meeting held every Thursday at the school. The benefits of this culture is that by sharing ideas, every job can be completely, quickly, and efficiently done. However, the culture weakness is that there are few teachers who are quite passive in the meeting because they do not express their opinions or suggest things during the meetings. This work culture should be maintained because it can help in the effective solution of problems. The last work culture is the concern about student problem. Teachers are also concerned about the problems that their students are experiencing. For example, if they notice a student who is not participating in class, they will attempt to contact the student to determine the reason for the problem. This culture is admirable because it demonstrates the nature of the high concept of teacher, which is noble work. In my opinion, this work culture has no weaknesses, and this culture should be maintained to ensure the well-being and motivation of the students at the school. We have reached the last part of the presentation, which is the summary. Past have prepared in conclusion, past have me prepared to be a teacher. Past also have provided me with tons of valuable experience and exposure. This experience has had a positive impact on me as a person preparing to face the real world as a teacher. I learned how to prepare properly manage the classroom environment while teaching and learning, as well as how to manage tasks and carry out responsibilities as a teacher. I learned what it's like to be a teacher with many responsibilities. I was able to think of ways to be more creative in teaching students as a result of this exposure, making my delivery more effective. For the suggestion of improvement, since some of us conduct pause during exam weeks or weeks when there are no school activities for us to participate in, unfortunately, I would like to suggest that pause implementation in future would be extended from 2 weeks to 3 weeks, similar to some university. As a result of this, we are unable to fully experience the school experience due to this limitation. However, I am aware that not every student has the experience because every school is different, right? So the last part is Sulam program. The Sulam program that I would like to propose to execute is a program that can improve students' English speaking proficiency because I discovered that more than half of the students are still not fluent in English due to the lack of exposure and interest. Jerusalem project, we can provide a Singapore with interesting and simple English modules because we took a course learning assessment in which we are required to create our own teaching assessment module. Hence, we can combine our ideas and maybe work together to create a module that focuses on improving students' English proficiency by using the knowledge and skills that we gain from this course. Then we can share the module that we created with the school to be used in the teacher's daily teaching and learning. As a result, students become more confident speaking and being creative in their studies and being fluent in English language. So, yeah, I think that's all from my presentation, and thank you very much for your attention.